Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Talk No Gimmicks with Haley, Demi, and me, Erin. We're so glad that you guys are here for another episode because this one, based off the other one, is a little bit more lighthearted. So, if you're ready, strap in, relax. It's going to be a good topic of conversation. Again, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you, no matter what time you're listening, no matter what day you're listening. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. So without further ado, Demi is going to introduce our topic of the day. So go ahead.
Social media, specifically the wedge.
Just two magic words. Social media.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But now we're just going to talk about the wedge social media brings between real life interactions and social norms. So.
Mm-hmm. What do we feel about Instagram as a whole? Do we like it? Do we not? How do we feel?
It blocked me one time.
I was like, Instagram blocked you?
Yeah.
What? Like literally the account was blocked?
Yes. It was temporary.
So it's got some technical glitches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the
Okay.
glitches. Yeah.
So if you work for Instagram,
Get on
we'll
that.
have to fix that. All right.
Yeah. But nah, overall, I mean, it's
Okay.
it's whatever.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Instagram has its pluses and its minuses. It's good and it's also bad.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to... I love it because I get to hype all my friends up because I'm not one to post. For me, it's like a chore, so I don't really like doing it. Because a lot of things go into Instagram, like a lot of thoughts that I don't like having. Because, you know, even though I say, like, oh, I don't care about what people think, I always, like, over-examine, like, pictures. I'm like, do I like the way I'm smiling? Do I like the way the body looks? I don't know. So I just overthink it, and I don't really like putting myself in that situation. So Instagram is good. You know, making connections with people, always great. For our podcast, we have an Instagram page. Please go follow. That was a little slip in I did. I was like,
Oh my God.
little slip in we had there.
What is it called? A shameless plug?
Yes, there we
Shameless
go.
plug,
There,
yeah.
see, there's a name for everything, isn't there? See, you
Yes.
can always social media.
Right.
Words go around. You know,
Yeah,
new
right.
vocabulary.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah, so great way to connect with people, great way to, you know, experience things, see what other people are doing, great. But then it also has its negatives. What are things we don't like about Instagram?
Where do I start? Number one, you said it's a lot of work. I found it to be, I mean, maybe because I don't post, like, ever. I post, like, once a decade. And then, like, I end up archiving it anyway. So it's like, it's there for, like, maybe a day or two, and then it's gone. So, I mean, like, the captions and the filters, and then you don't want to filter because you want it to be, like, natural. And then see how many people liked it, what their comments were. It's just
Dang.
So much work.
I could be doing something else.
Yeah.
Doing anything else.
Taking a nap.
Right.
But again, if you're like an Instagram influencer, if that's your life, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for
it.
Give
it's
me some
not-
tips.
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause I
please.
don't understand it.
Me neither.
And
My
then
face.
another negative is I feel like it's easy to compare yourself to other people. Like this summer, I'm actually pretty good at it now. Like I would go on Instagram and like scroll, and it'll be like people's posts from like 4 days ago that I like just now seeing. So I guess that's maybe it's because I have followed more people, so I don't see. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not on my phone as much because I'm busy. But it's easy to be like, oh, this person's on this trip and they're wearing this and that. And so it's easy to compare yourself and feel like you're less than or you're not on the same wavelength as other people. But I think it's just a sign of maturity, and it's an area that I should grow. So I don't know if that's a social media problem or
Just a me
thing.
problem.
Yeah, a personal problem.
My problem as well. Like, I can definitely relate to Erin and you, Haley. Like, once I post a picture, I hyperventilate. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, why is my butt so big? Why is my waist so big?
Do you feel like after you post something, like, looks different?
Yeah,
Yes!
I'm like, why am I smiling like that?
Yes.
After you
Like,
post it, it's
yeah,
like your brain's like, oh, no, it's ugly now. Like,
Right.
yeah.
And
I'm
like,
like,
no-
that's cringy.
Right. And then, like, the more I see people like my picture, I'm like, oh, shoot, okay, this is a bit much. Okay, maybe I should just delete it. 'Cause
There's a lot of anxiety behind it.
Yeah.
Like, unneeded.
And I don't know why. And, like, similar to you, Haley, like, I compare myself as well. And I see people in their, cute bikinis going out to the beach. And I'm like,
Could not be me.
If I would have bought a bikini, my parents would be like,
So
that's where you.
this is what your life is now?
you're going to live in a cave.
Right. Moo revolution.
But like, yeah, like I just see everyone living their life, and I'm like, man, if only my life was like theirs, and that's problematic. And like, I have a confession. Sometimes I see people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty. They're prettier than me. Or I see a picture. You know, let me not say that.
Just let it out.
Yeah, no, because, you know, we're all human. We have flaws. I'm going to just say it. Sometimes I see a picture, and I'm like, okay, they look okay.
She's going to have to take a sip after that one.
I'm sorry. I told you it's a confession. I'm working on it.
Okay, so you're saying, like, you judge people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
we're
being
being
humble,
judgmental.
open, and transparent.
I'm just
when we address issues, we know that they're there.
This was like a before thing, okay? It's not now.
Grow.
Okay,
Good,
we're growing.
Grow.
So
Yeah,
now,
perfect.
yeah. So like now, when I see a picture or a video of someone, and like there might be a potential thought that says, "Oh, they look okay," I say, "No, they look great. They look beautiful. They look amazing." You know? I'm working on it, okay?
That was one.
I'm not judging. Okay, that's a lie. I mean, yes, I have the capability of being judgy, but I'm just working on myself, okay?
That's good, because a lot of people just won't do that.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care enough. Be like, I said what I said, and I meant it.
No.
Don't have that mentality.
Don't have
Everybody's
that mentality,
teachable, and we can all grow. And I appreciate the
the honesty.
The honesty.
The
I feel like
honesty.
you're really good at being honest. We're all honest on here, of
But
course.
it's okay. But we don't judge. Because
we don't judge because we've all done it. I've been like, my thing is, since we're talking about what we need to grow on when it comes to social media, I've seen people. I think the one that gets me is not even so much of like, oh, this person's not really like giving today. It's more like when people. When they
we didn't think it was gonna be this deep.
When they like, okay, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. When they like feel like they're all that in a bag of chips, and they act like they are supposed to be on the cover of Vogue, and then it's not there. I don't understand. Yeah. And then people hype. Let me just
again, post what you want. Yeah. We're not here to judge.
Just be humble. That's my thing.
Yes.
Yeah, just be like. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, the angle, you should have turned it more to the left. Like I don't look at a picture that much. I see it for 5 seconds and I'm just like, oh, like move on. But it's like when I know people's character, and it's not my job to judge. So I need to grow on that. Like I'm not God, so maybe they have changed since the last time I've talked to them, seen them. So I can't be basing how they acted in 2nd grade to now they're almost 20, so I have to grow up, mature. But I feel like when people like, you know how people pose. Y'all know. We're being real. Y'all know the poses y'all do when you think you're all that in a bag of chips. And I'm like, but your character.
And like the captions too.
But like, I'm that girl. And I'm like, but your character, what does it get? Let me.
Hey, you're just being honest. You're being honest.
Erin, just go ahead. Just stop talking.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was just thinking about like the kind of anxiety that's behind it because it's behind a screen, right? Mm-hmm. So with me, I do care about like relationships and the people that I'm friends with. So I'm, like how you were saying, you track like, who's liked it, who you follow has liked it, like all that stuff like that. And it's like, oh my gosh, the minute somebody doesn't like, oh my gosh, are they mad at me? Like, like you're reading their mind, they're not even there. They could be at work.
Right.
They could be going through something. Maybe their phone shattered into a million pieces. You don't know. Right. But you're like, oh my gosh, like I posted something and they didn't like it. And I know that like that goes on with girls and guys too. They're like, oh my gosh, did he like my picture? Did she like what is that comment? Like he's leaving like hints in his comment.
No, like girl,
relax.
You put that on
8 people's pictures. Yeah, but I really think at times it can be hard to have a distinction between social media and real life because obviously there's nothing, you can't see what somebody's doing behind a screen. Yeah. Even when someone texts, like you don't know their tone, right? So you start assuming things, So I really feel like with Instagram especially, there's like a lot of thoughts that go in your head that don't even need to be there, and it just becomes a headache. You're gonna talk?
No, I was gonna say that was a good point that you talked about, like trying to read people's minds, because I don't know about you, I've had the experience where like you don't, like maybe you notice that someone that usually likes your page or pictures like don't, so then you like start trying to be like Sherlock Holmes and investigate, and then you realize, oh, they don't follow me anymore.
Yeah.
Or like this person, they don't follow me anymore. So then you're like, oh, so we got beef. And it could, people move on. Like, you followed somebody from kindergarten and now, why? I get it. So do you guys think that, like, what do you guys think about that? Have you ever done that? Like, notice somebody stopped following you? Like, how did it make you feel? Like, what are the thoughts that go in your head?
I just keep it pushing. I don't care. Like, if I notice someone unfollowed me, I'll be like, oh, okay. I'll unfollow you.
Yeah, but even the retaliation, I'll unfollow you. Like, so did it trigger something? Like, even if it's not like deep, like you forget about it like 10 minutes later, like the initial response, like, so you don't want to follow me? Okay, let me unfollow you. So like, where do you think that? Like, I don't have a definite answer, but I'm just trying to think, like, where does that come from?
Yeah, does it come from anger? Does that come from like, I want to get you back, or just like I just don't need you in my life, I guess anymore?
Yeah. If we're being really honest, I just want to.
You know what? You said a lot, so just keep it going. Maybe I don't know.
What we're trying to get.
I have two answers for this. Number one, I really don't know where it comes from. I guess it comes from a place where I want to be liked. Like I want people to follow me. Like in case someone doesn't follow me, then I'm like, okay, well, frick it, I will unfollow you too. So I guess it's that feeling of just wanting to be liked, that wanting.
Yeah.
And then another thing, I guess I just want to have more followings than followers.
Okay, so I know a lot of people do that. Like when you meet them, they're like, oh, follow me on Instagram. Then you guys both follow each other, and then they might unfollow you because like
they want
you followed them. Yeah. So like now it's like, oh, I have less people I'm following than
I don't do that. Okay.
No, I'm not saying you, but I know people that I met like first couple days of college, and like everybody's exchanging Instagrams, and then like the next day you're like, I just had 300 followers, and why am I at 222?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
So I get it. I wasn't saying.
I know. I just clarify.
We're not gonna. Demi's been on the hot seat.
Yeah. We're trying to get you off the hot seat. Cool down.
I'm good.
Yeah, definitely. I just try not to really engage myself with, just that false expectations from a social media platform, I feel like the most important thing is to just, be kind, be positive, spread good. I feel like the most time I'd be on Instagram is, if I'm seeing if Real Talk posted anything or, like, things like that, promoting our podcast and promoting good things as well. I just don't, like, I like experiencing things in real life. So, I when people unfollow you, it bothers me because, like, in my heart, I want to know if I did something wrong or, like, do you not like me? Things like that. So it can really bother you when it happens all of a sudden, and it's someone you're close with, and they just don't follow you anymore just because you left high school or you left middle school or anything like that, and you're like, what happened? Like, you just unfollowed me because of what? Like, you were going through your following and just saw my name and decided to unfollow? Like, what did I do to you,
Right.
So all those thoughts come up, and it's a lot of negativity. But I'd say at the end of the day, it's just important to be kind, stay positive, use social media as a good thing, because people really misuse it. They misuse it, maybe leave mean comments or like just become extremely judgmental when people don't post their whole life on Instagram. They only post the good parts. So we shouldn't be in a place where we're comparing and contrasting and things like that when you don't know what they're going through. It's so easy to put something out there and for everybody to see, but you could be going through major hurt inside, things like that. I've experienced it, so
that's really true.
And that's crazy. Like, I really like how you said people don't know what you're going through. Like, they don't know what's behind the scenes of a particular picture. And that brings me to a question. How do you guys feel, or do you think social media is affecting in-person interactions?
Almost definitely.
Okay.
I've seen, like, I've heard people say, and, like, I think I've seen, like, I don't know if they're memes or just, like, quotes, whatever, or, like, tweets, but people are like, yeah, if you, just don't call me. Like, our relationship will be much better if you text me. And I get it. Like, texting can be convenient. Like, if you're trying to slide your mom a text, at school, or, whatever, you're in the middle of doing something, you can't really, like, hold your phone. Like, I understand that there's lots of benefits. We all text. That's, like, usually how we communicate. Like, are you free to talk? Like, that's even weird. Like, sometimes I feel awkward, like, texting y'all, can you talk, and then talk. But anyway, so I do, like, and I think people have become more socially awkward because even you can follow somebody on Instagram, like, and you see them every day, but you never talk to them. Like, you are Instagram followers, you know everything about this person. They just got a car, their dog, got a new tuxedo. Like, you just know, like, all these little minute details about different people's lives, but you never talk to them. You don't check up on them. And I think it definitely affects your interactions, because I think, like, both of you were touching on how you don't necessarily know what people are going through. And so you build up in your mind this facade, and even the thought that that person has it all figured out. So you don't think that you need to reach out, because on Instagram, they're on Instagram and they're traveling. They, it just seems great. And so even it kind of wedges the gaps of being transparent, honest, and even feeling like you have to reach out, because you kind of think you know a lot about different people when you don't actually know anything.
Yeah, that's really good.
And, like, to add on to that, I personally like talking to people, because, like, there's this sense of belonging and, like, safety when you're talking to a person in person. And, like, again, like, I sometimes have assumptions when I'm texting a person, but honestly, when you're talking to a person face to face, I feel like, as Haley mentioned a little bit, how you get to, like, see more transparency. You get to learn who a person truly is. And I feel like the reason why I say talking to a person face to face gives you a sense of security or safety is because, let's just say, for instance, you post something on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. You just involve yourself in social media. And I know I said previously how people don't know what you're going through. And because of that concept of people not knowing what you're going through, at times it could give people who are in a very harmful situation or just a very, I don't want to say tragic, but like an uncomfortable situation that would later on lead to who knows what, like a negative consequence. So I feel like talking to a person face to face closes that barrier and like brings more security, more safety, more transparency. And I feel like in the long run, it will help a person, be more open with their feelings or emotions. And one day that consequence, that negative consequence would never happen. So personally, because of that, I truly love talking to people, and it helps me so much throughout my years of life. So
there's really nothing better than like a face-to-face conversation,
Yeah.
Like even through FaceTime, like it's fun, like I'm seeing you and like we're talking and stuff, but like being in tune with someone and in person, like it's great. Like before on our podcast, we were doing it virtually, and like it was great. We were getting great points out, but like there's nothing better than this. Like this just feels so good and so different being in person. And I feel like a lot of times, like when you're so used to texting or communicating through the screen, like it's hard to bring that out in real life. Like it's hard to, because you're not talking to anybody. You're doing it through a screen and you're sitting and thinking about what you should say, but you don't do that in a conversation, right? It's supposed to naturally flow and come out like a normal person talks. But spending a lot of time on social media, and there's just nothing better than like a face-to-face conversation. So you can be on Instagram and social media, but always make sure to be present in real life, not always be in the phone and in social media, because that's not the real world. A lot of times we can be so in tune with what's going on in the phone, but people can twist things, change your perspective on. I was like perception. Like, what was I saying?
Perception.
I was like, what?
Yeah, they're both the same.
Both P words, but being on that can really like change your perspective on things. So it's just really good to be in tune with the world around you.
Yes,
that's really good. Do you think that your perspective on social media, and even like we talked about texting and talking to people in person, it's kind of a reflection on either how you're raised or your love language? Like for me, my love language is quality time. So I enjoy talking and hanging out and, getting to know people on, in person and just making memories with people. But maybe people that have the love language of words of affirmation,
like
love the comments, because it just it just makes them feel. But for me, I guess everyone wants to be validated. For me, I could care less on about Instagram, because I'd rather, like, even when we hang out, we're always like, I'm gonna post about, like, every year for each other's birthdays, like, we always do just different things. Like for my birthday, they took me to the zoo, and like it was really special. I mean, you were 19. Like I literally had a great time, and so we're like, they do like all these nice little things, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna post about it, and like it's gonna be so great. And then I don't even post about it because I'm so wrapped up in like
exactly
being present that it doesn't matter what people think about my relationship with my friends. I know what I think, and I think it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, you gave a really good point, and like honestly, I don't know the answer, but I will say this: my love language is also quality time, but I don't know, cause like I feel like I have been surrounded in a lot of environments where people don't really talk to you face to face, and like I just adapted. Do I like it? No, but I adapt, and I feel like in some communities there's a trend in which the younger generation is like more distant to the older generations. For instance, you have dinner, you know, your mom or your dad makes food, and like you, the young kid, you like go upstairs, you eat your food, you watch TV and text someone, and then everyone else, your parents, your aunt, your uncle, they're downstairs and like they're just sharing a meal. And like I find this trend in a lot of communities similar to one ethnic community, Nigerian community. But yeah, I just feel like I don't have an answer about necessarily the love language, but I do see a trend in like a lot of ethnic communities again and generations. Like I feel like social media has brought, obviously it has brought like a big divide, and I won't say it has brought a divide like for everyone, but I know for people that I have seen, I have observed, I've noticed like there has been a big divide. So yeah.
That's really good. You made like a really good point. Again, I feel like it's a yes and no for me, because words of affirmation is like a love language for me. I do love being complimented. I do love knowing that I'm wanted and that I'm needed. That is a love language of mine, but it's different on Instagram. Like I don't care for people's comments on Instagram, because you could just be lying to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you'll see their name pop up, they comment, you're like, I followed you?
Like, or like when did we talk?
Yeah. I'm like, but they're saying, oh, you're so beautiful and you look so good. I'm like, but where were you every other time? Like, why are you popping in now? Like, confusing. So, yeah, I like words of affirmation. That's my love language, but I like it in real life. You know? It's just, we were previously stating, like, there's nothing better than being present in the real world and not being so absorbed in the screen, because there's just no way of knowing, you know, what people are feeling, what people are seeing, saying. You know, it's just like when you're in person, you can really get an idea of like what that person is saying, and you can like be in tune and like feel each other's feelings, you know, like there's just nothing better than that. So, yeah.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. So again, like, if you prefer getting comments via social media, that's perfectly fine. We're just saying, you know, based on our perspectives and opinions, like what we prefer. But yeah, just don't forget to be in the real world. Don't forget to be, you know, honest, don't lie in the comment section, please, okay? And don't forget to stay real. See you guys.